Hello, everybody. I'm going to be doing Metroid Fusion Oil Spill. This ROM hack was made by Speedamus. It's going to look a little different if you've ever seen Metroid Fusion Vanilla. It's going to be completely open world, so we can grab whatever we want. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, go. So if you remember like Vanilla Fusion, you're going to remember it for being very wordy throughout the game. A lot of these text sections with Adam. In this, there aren't any at all except for this beginning one. The plot is Samus has been put on this oil rig and she's trying to stop the oil spill. And there's a lot of different sections in this, which is very neat to explore, but there are a few differences in the original game as compared to this. The first one being that the original is very linear. This one allows you to grab whatever weapons you need to progress. And you can get missiles by just picking them up off from an expansion tank. You don't need to get the data for them as you would in the original, which is very convenient. And the other is, there are two different ways to get to the end. You're not forced to grab all of the expansions. You can just grab what you need to get to the end of the game. So I'm not going to be grabbing too much. The world record for this game I hold. It's 17 minutes and 17 seconds, but that route is extremely not marathon friendly at all because we grab so little and it's so risky. So we're at our first eye door, and immediately you can kind of see that things are going to be slightly different. I'm just going to be ignoring all eye doors because there's no door behind them. It's just an open door frame. You don't actually have to kill the eye doors, you can just walk right through them, so it just removes all of the RNG that you would need. Missiles do slightly more in this hack than the normal game, so I think they do about 16. Ooh, and I missed the double there. Still a good fight. So yeah, there's gonna be a few differences. Like I'm not gonna get any bombs or power bombs throughout this game. And another difference you might have already noticed, but I'm able to single wall jump, which isn't a thing in the original game. So I can just continuously jump along the same wall endlessly, where I can just fall like that. And it's really beneficial with how some of these rooms are created and just getting through to the next areas. Oops. So I've already got the morph ball, and I'm just going to continue on to the next area to where I can go get the charge beam. The charge beam in this game isn't as broken as it is in the original. The original, you use it everywhere. In this hack, it has a slightly different function. And there's really one tough-ish fight, which is why I've already grabbed 2 energy tanks. I'm going to be grabbing 3, maybe 4, because there's 2 sections in this run that are a little dangerous. Like, the mid-portion of this run can be slightly dangerous. For now, though, we're just going to be chilling underwater as we make our way from one complex to the next. Another quality of life thing is that whenever you pick up expansions like missiles or energy tanks, you get a full refill of either energy or missiles, which is really nice, especially especially if you're really low on missiles and you need to get some. You don't have to stop and farm. If you just pick up a tank, you're good to go. So there are going to be times where I'm going to be spending a lot of missiles and I'll be kind of low coming up to another part, but we'll be able to just grab an expansion and get all of them back. So I had mentioned that there are 2 different ways to complete the game or get to the final boss. The first one is the final boss is guarded off by screw attack blocks and speed booster blocks. So you either need to beat Ceres and get speed booster, or beat Ridley and get the screw attack. I'm going to be choosing to go and fight Ceres because Ceres, to get to Ceres is a lot. It's not as bad, I would say. Ridley is a little bit more long. It's more drawn out. The fight is very, very risky, and I would have to get space jump and gravity suit. In this one, I'll just be getting gravity suit. The gravity suit, the only reason I'm grabbing gravity suit is to make the Ceres fight a little bit friendlier, I guess. Plus, getting gravity suit gives me an upgrade to my missiles. This is the charge core. I jumped and fired 2 missiles there, and the reason I did that was because by firing 2 missiles, I kind of did a shot, I jumped up, shot, did a spin, shot another one. So I was able to layer the 2 missiles one on top of the other. And I was able to do double damage to the core there, so I could, instead of doing 3 shots, it only took me 2 rounds to do it, and I skipped an entire cycle, essentially. So now that I have the charge beam, you may have noticed on the pickup, it kind of said something about a lock opener. The main function of the charge beam in this is to open the locks, or to shoot the buttons to open the gates, like you just saw. So it's not really as broken as it is, because you can kind of see it's only got a single shot to it. It's not double wide. We just skipped another eye door, whatever. This boss can be a little risky, depending on if he traps me. But this is Zazabi. The amount of times that he jumps is random. That was unfortunate, because there's a maximum amount of jumps. But, get out of there. Come on, jump. Jump! Alright, that should be good. Okay. So yeah, the charge beam in Fusion Vanilla is pretty broken. You're technically supposed to leave the other way, but I'm just going to come back through this way because the game doesn't matter. It doesn't care. And I can just leave the same way I came and not have any penalty. So in the original game, the charge beam does 10 per shot, and the flare deals additional damage as well. On this one, the damage doesn't really work the same way with the charge beam. So it deals significantly less, and it's not as useful. It'll be useful when I grab the wide beam here coming up soon. I should have unmorphed, whatever. And grabbing the wide beam will be our first kind of risky portion of this run. So I'm going to take a save at the beginning of the engines portion once I leave this habitation deck. I fire a missile there because I just get a refill anyway, and it's faster to shoot it before the item acquisition there. I'm going to try to grab an additional E-Tank just for safety. If I miss it, it's no big deal. There's a backup that I can grab anyway. I missed it. That's fine. There's an E-Tank in that if I missile that block, a very specific block along that wall, but pretty precise. Alright, I'm going to take a save right here because, again, this fight is, it's going to require a hell run, and it doesn't end necessarily once I get the item. I have to get it and get out while also taking damage and then go immediately into another fight. Oops. Okay, here we go. So you're technically supposed to go get Varia before this whole part, but it's kind of just a suggestion. So I'm just going to run in here and start the fight. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trap this, the core right along this wall here, the ceiling. Ooh, no. Don't fire that way. There we go. Okay. Now that he's stuck, he can't shoot that. And I'm just going to hit him an additional 6 times. So you might notice that my missiles are just going to tink off of that thing sometimes. The reason why is because the hitbox is oscillating. And if you don't know what that is, that's just like it's moving in like a bit of a wave pattern. So there's a chance that I'm just gonna miss occasionally. It's very weird. But now that I've got the wide beam, ignore that it says Spazer. I'm just gonna leave. I don't actually have to hit that switch. And now things are gonna seem a little, interesting. Uh-oh. Get the heck out of here, no way. Oh boy. Don't do it. Don't hit me, please. Okay, well this is a little risky at this point now. So I was not supposed to take that hit. I also can't save. Give me red. Oh, it's green. That's not good. Okay, that's fine. I can just farm these stretchies. I should be okay here. I can't save because I'm still technically considered to be in emergency. Okay. This should be fine, I hope. If not, it's not too much time lost. Most of the strats you're going to see are strats that I've come up with. Just, okay, please die, thank you. Because I was really the only person that's run the game so far. Uh-oh. Please. Gonna come down low. Okay. Ugh. Oh, crap. Whoops. Okay, now we're good. Now I should be safe. Famous last words. Alright. The idea for this fight is you want to hit them both at the same time. Oops. Ooh. Okay. There we go. And now we've got the Varia suit. Whew. That was a little stressful. And this Varia suit is a much better color palette than the Fusion one. So now that we've got Varia, we aren't hindered by any sort of heated or high temperance room. And you're probably asking why I get Varia second B after I go through the Hell Run. The reason is because Wave Beam, it fires, it's got 3 portions to it. Not Wave Beam, Wide Beam. It's got 3 portions to it. And each of those portions deals damage. So by grabbing it before I do the fight, I'm technically dealing more damage every time I hit it with a charge shot, which is the only way to damage that boss. So the more damage that I can deal as quickly as possible, the better. Oops. There we go. So from here, I'm just going to go and rush Gravity Suit. I don't technically have to get all of these items or these power-ups. The only reason I'm doing it is because it provides a little bit of a safety net, especially for a marathon run. The world record run grabs Morph Ball, 1 Missile Pack, I think an E-Tank just for safety, and High Jump before I go fight Ceres and do it all suitless. You don't necessarily have to do all the stuff that I'm doing, but again, doing it suitless is very, very risky, and there's a lot of stuff that can kill you very quickly. So now we're just heading over to go get Gravity Suit, and once we get Gravity Suit, we're going to get our only missile power-up in this entire ROM. It's very interesting, this ROM, because there's no bombs, power bombs, and there's only 1 missile upgrade. So for the entirety of this, I'm using 1... Oops. I got the frame perfect jump, too. I'm using missiles that deal 16 damage. This boss coming up is no exception. And I'm going to save right here, just in case, because this boss can be a little dangerous, to say the least. And it took me a while grinding this out when I was routing this, to kind of come up with a plan to kind of deal with them. Here's the RNG. The reason I I don't run through the doors, because I want as much health as I possibly can get for this fight, because this fight is... He can be tough. Nightmare is completely random in the way he moves. And in the 3rd phase, he follows an invisible dot around the room before he focuses on Samus. So I don't know what direction he's going to move, but everything you're about to see are strats that, well, not this one in particular, are strats that I came up with along with SN Ivan, or SN underscore Ivan. Come on. Come on. Come on. I know I tinked a few. Come on. Oh boy. This is fine. Ideally, I defeat him before all of the, with all the missiles before he drops all the way down. I'm gonna save one missile so I can do a technique called R shooting. And R shooting is when I'm able to... don't do this to me. Come on. Alright, well. This is okay, I guess. Ooh, hello. Please stop. Please stop in place. There we go. R shooting is when you have a single missile left or any missiles and you have a fully charged beam. If you have a charged beam and you press R on the controller, uh-oh. No, this is fine. Potentially. It will fire the shot while trying to activate the missiles. I kind of missed it there, so oops. Okay, so this is good. This is the pattern that I want. So what I'm going to do now is, because the flare deals damage, I'm going to get as close as possible when I'm hitting Nightmare, and you can kind of see there's a diagonal slash that goes across like near his mouth where the beam is hitting. And the reason that's happening is because the flare is connecting as well. The flare also deals additional damage. So to deal the most amount of damage here, because I don't have missiles, I'm trying to hit all three portions of the beam and the flare. And this can be incredibly risky. Especially like if you don't have health, which is why I grabbed additional E-tanks at the beginning. Alright, I'm gonna jump here to make him stop. Good. I'll set him up here. He's almost dead. Yep, that way. Okay. We should be good here from this point. This is probably the worst fight of the entire run, and the one fight that took me the longest to route out. Because it was trying to get a nice balance of missiles and everything else. Oh no. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. You need the right balance of missiles and charge beam shots to have it be as quick as possible while also it not being a terrible fight. And like having it still be doable. Oh crap. Get down here. Get down here! Hello? Oh my god, please just give me the thank you. This is ridiculous. Alright, now we can start. Jeez, oh man. And now I'm just gonna keep trying to shoot 2 missiles. So what I'm doing is when I fire one on the ground and jump up, I'm firing 2 missiles, and I'm dealing double damage. As I was describing earlier with the one that I did while I was standing. The other tough portion of this is that I run out of completely drained of missiles from the fight. So I have to get really lucky with the drops and hope that the drops don't float around too terribly, but alright, that's perfect. That's honestly the worst fight of this entire ROM, I'm pretty sure, because the one thing that would make this fight more doable is stronger missiles, but the only way to get that is by completing this fight. So you're kind of left with either having to go grab like 60 or so missiles to make this fight not trash, or you just have to tough it out and figure a way to make it faster with the charge beam, which is the route that I elected. So we're not completely through yet. There's a portion here, and you might be able to hear it. This is essentially a chase scene. And I'm running from the final form of the SAX. You can kind of see it behind me. Uh-oh. Ow. Alright, we're good. You can't damage it in any way. It's completely impervious to all damage. It's just meant to be a chase scene. That can, if you mess that up just slightly, it can get you, and it'll do a lot of damage. As you can kind of see, I took a slight bit of damage there. Please grab those, thank you. By grabbing those, I stopped the spawning of another monster that would get in my way. So a little baby Dragon would spawn right there on the top of that platform and slow me down a bit. And now I've got red doors unlocked, which up until this point we haven't seen any, which is, you know, really nice. And then right after this, we're going to get diffusion missiles, which increase our missile damage to like 45, I think. Alright. I'm pretty sure this is the only data room in the entire ROM, and it's just to get diffusion missiles. So now from here, I'm going to go fight Ceres. Because I'll be able to hit him rather quickly with these missiles and kill him in like 4 or 5 shots. The thing now is I just have to get all the way to Ceres, and Ceres is all the way back at the beginning of the game. It's in like the first area, so I gotta make my way back. Oh, that was a little too early. Alright, that works. Okay. I'm just gonna make my way back. Just a little bit of backtracking. Wouldn't be a Metroid game if there wasn't any backtracking. And once I defeat Ceres, I'll be able to access the final boss of the game. Which is why the record stands at 17 minutes. Because once you get that, it's essentially the end of the run. You still have to defeat the final boss, which is no joke in and of itself, and even now with this health, it's still not, like, a slam dunk. I could still get swiped a few times, because each swipe does an entire E-tank worth of health. So the way I'm going to get back to the beginning portion of the game, since I can't go through the ocean, I could, I'm just not going to. I'm going to go and take a shortcut through here. Back towards this way, over near this elevator. So instead of going to the right, I'm going to head to the left, and this will take me to an area with another elevator, and will take me to a an area that's just filled with acid that I just kind of have to cross. So most movement tech in this game is exactly the same as it would be for Vanilla Fusion, so like when I jump up on a ledge, I'm shooting to unspin as quickly as possible. Oops. So that way I can stand up and start running. The fastest movement is either running or in Morph Ball. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start charging the diffusion, because by charging the diffusion right before I go through the transition, after the transition, I'll be guaranteed to have a fully charged diffusion shot, so I don't have to worry, so I don't have to wait for the time for it to charge. And if this place looks familiar, it should, because we're now going backwards to the very beginning of the game. I wasn't kidding when I said it's at the beginning. It's literally right at the very beginning, pretty much. And there's 2 ways to access it. You either need to space jump up or have a perfectly timed wall jump up to the ledge, or there's another ledge with a missile block there, with a block that I just shot out that I'll be taking. Oh, come on. That I'll be taking on the way out. But now that we're here, we're just gonna proceed underwater. I need to morph. Derp. Alright, and now the underwater section. I could run to the right, but I'm just gonna take a shortcut. Firing 4 missiles would have been faster, but whatever. Ledge. Alright, and these guys in this room, I believe, are impervious to shots. They are. They only take missiles to kill. Alright, 2 missiles, and now I can defeat this Idor. And I want missiles and health for this, because this is still not a slam dunk fight. It can troll me, like this Idor is, with 3 shots. Idors can fire between 0 and 4 shots. I'm gonna chill out right here, because right here is where I can get the best vantage of where its movements are. Ah, darn it. Okay. Okay. do that. There's one pattern that can hit me that kind of stinks. That's 3, so I think 1 or 2 more. It's not that one. There's one there's only one pattern that can hit me from right here. That's the one. Of course, the one time I didn't brace for it. Alright, one more shot and then it's dead. He's only got 3 patterns, and there's 2 different ways that I can go about each one. And there we go. 1. Good. And now we've got Speed Booster. This hack is a lot of fun. I'm glad that I decided to route it. I've routed this one, and I've also I've routed both of the power-ups to Screw Attack and Speed Booster, and I was in the middle of routing the 100%. And this game has some really interesting 100% tricks just to like finish it up. Oh goodness me! Get out of the way, please, please. I need to go back and finish routing the 100% route. There are a lot of cool things that you can do it, or well, yeah, you could just do in the one, not only the 100% route, but the route for Screw Attack. So for Screw Attack, you don't actually have to get Varia. Oops. Nope, don't do that. You don't actually have to go get Varia. You can just skip Varia and go do a. Oh God, no. Hang on. I gotta get my swag. Oh, and I messed it up anyway. Whatever. This should be enough room to get a speed booster. Perfect. You can do a suitless section for... Perfect. Oh, I was gonna try Pogo. Oh well. To get to Gravity Suit, but you get knocked back in the ice rooms when getting there without Varia. So it's kind of difficult to get it, but it is possible. That would cut out a lot of time in the route, but I've just got to go back and figure out the logistics of it and get it down to a point where it's consistent. This is the final boss. I'm going to be doing less damage than I would in a normal run, so I'm going to be running in and out here, while also trying to deal as much as I possibly can. Oops. So because I don't have the wave beam, or the wave beam, or plasma beam technically, I don't do piercing damage. Piercing damage is probably the fastest way. Whoops, you can kill this guy. But this is just as quick. And he's almost dead. There's a lot of information about this game, and just like the run itself, that's hard to fit into about like 20 minutes or so, and he's dead. Timing will be when Samus faces forward here in a second for the ship. Come on. And time. There's a lot of information to try to cover in this run, and we're gonna get some credits here in a second, just for all the people that helped Speedimus work on this, and what they all did. Shoutouts to literally every single person that helped create this. If anybody has interest, you can see MagConst and Metcont on there. You can go to the Metroid Construction website or the forums, and you can, have access. You could play this, you could play a bunch of other hacks for Super Metroid, or any of the other Metroid games. There's a lot of amazing people in this community. Very, very talented people. And I definitely recommend checking it out. overall, I would say that was a very solid run. As well, there wasn't really too much that I didn't die. That's the good news. Uh, there wasn't too much that was wrong with that run that I'd be unhappy about. So I'm pretty happy with that. We somehow saved the animals, and so especially in this, like, the way that they went about it to be able to do what they did was they just set it. It's really impressive that they made, not only because like it being open world, but being able to just pick up whatever you want to and be able to use it immediately is fantastic. And I think, a lot of people would enjoy playing this if like they enjoyed the original game but wanted to have a more open world experience. This is definitely a ROM hack to play if that's what you're looking for. But yeah, I was very, very conservative with the estimate. I'm pretty sure when I submitted this, the my estimate was high, just because like I was still just getting used to the routing, and yeah, it's that the run has definitely come a long way from where it started, which I'm really happy with, and I want to thank SN Ivan, because him and I have been really like the only two people that have been really routing things out and working things out for boss fights and everything else. So big shout outs to SN_Ivan for helping me out and doing this with me and helping me get the run to essentially where it is now. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun to play. Very special end screen for the oil spill ROM hack as well. Good old robust extra virgin olive oil. Oh baby. Oh, I didn't get that sweet 2121. Maybe next time. Yeah, thank you everybody for letting me do this run. This is a lot of fun.
Hey man, thank you for doing the run. That was actually really, really intense. Yeah, so we are now going to transition and set up for a little while, and the adventure game is going to be starting. The blind adventure game is going to be starting in just about 10 minutes, so
Nice.
be there or don't. That's how it is.